Yeah, the governor's plans to reopen the state step by step, depending on the vaccination rates, has a lot of people talking, including Brian Calley, the president of the Small Business Association of Michigan. And Brian, as the former lieutenant governor and someone who keeps his eye very close to the ground in terms of what's happening with these small businesses, talk for a moment about what this means for small businesses in Michigan.
For the first time, it's a public statement of exactly what the goals are, what we need to hit in order to get more broadly reopened. And the first benchmark, frankly, is not that far away. We have 48.6% of eligible individuals in Michigan are already vaccinated, or at least have received their first dose. And the first benchmark for office return is at 55%. So that's 6 or 7% away. So we're hopeful that things will start to move pretty quickly now.
And Brian, are you at all concerned about people returning to work with COVID still being out there?
We've been through a couple of waves before, and what's different about this wave is that it happens in the midst of the ramp up of vaccinations. And so I think that it makes sense to treat it differently, to consider this to be more toward the end of the pandemic, especially as we can look at what's happened in some other countries around the world, like Israel and Great Britain and Chile and the United Arab Emirates, who are a little bit further along in their process and what has happened to their overall experience with disease spread after they hit these same types of benchmarks in their vaccinations.
Let's talk for a moment about what this will look like in terms of reopening. When the green light finally shines on these businesses, talk about how that's going to all shake out.
Well, we have a first step, which is the office return. It's one of our major advocacy items that we know is really important, especially to our cities, that we have that ability for businesses to make their own determination on what type of return to office they want to see. That's at 55%. We're pretty close to that, meeting that benchmark as we stand today. So we think that could be something that happens in the relative near future. The other is at 60%, moving capacity limits to 25% for performance venues and wedding reception halls and conference centers. And then 65% is when it goes to a place where 65% vaccination, where there aren't capacity limits anymore.
Yeah, and we know that 70% is when the mask requirement gets lifted. Certainly a lot of progress that we hope to see in the next few weeks and months to come here. Brian Calley, president of the Small Business Association, thanks for your time today.